Yo, a jedefo. Me jedi say a burner aso. And intino a be free a jumedi nase. Na answer na yabubo mpaye no. And the yebeka ho asem a chief asem no say legacy. E bring the swan. Dr. Betchan has a pie in Yatiase. And intino mama yambe yakomase. Na yamfe ya honshe radins and danas. Yame ba tampa yada wase ena yumre so adom nhyira wo de agu yeso wadoma etro denti no mba yada so etiase ebi yesa so de yabone yafumsu na abechen na ende February 20th ya wo yame wona mwadom tumi yebehiem yebesua ensem we no wadom to abeka ya ho yede wababa obedi yanim ehon so Dr. Vera Kufo Meno Yesomo yame wehwom konkona gu no so se de be ya anamfumfum ne so bia na ebe firi mu no yame wakasa fani mu akire wo ma na adesuen ewie ya de ho asede ni kabenso ama ehia de inaso ya de tu anem na yaresa yankata sem yadwuma sem ene ya setemu nsem inaso yehu a de wani ma deja yeso so wona bremi no yame shaw ho anum yam adofo na nuane ma ese de wo mhye sabi na ase de wo mo shaw so se ruade break aka wo na afefo mu na be kan yan wo ahomeso enyeme na wie modi a yakase Kristo kuna waye de ho asede na ye so ama da wase enmre se wetie yam pa bo Jesus dimonti amen asane yebakos no ne kama gen say
amen
da wase Yonkodoradio was so and intino mommy and shunners we are open source tibuma na wako YouTube Yonkodoradio na obetini na ebriye na yenim yenua ba Dr. Vera Kufo Meno ye na yenim no one na dwumedi obedi yenim na fi no wache asa adesua legacy no wacheche mu akire ye paaye ntima me ebeji ahome mu ama ye serwade adom se enka ho wana adom incident amen.
So, AGD4 we did madam wasi bebre some mama me sa kwanya yi say minimum make set sa adisua mom pade me kakra se be yenya me minimum ye yi tino someone ti anam waka achim someone ti na me tumi ebia me ma me volume me what me you know so na make me computer no so akosra
okay
enti madam wasi bebre mama me sa kwanya yi ti na ne be kan legacy ho asem the casa legacy cry dear bad dear and no any say wuja ejapade bi ama wo ba ana wo busia wuja ejapade bi ama wo ba ene wo busia enim so Onyankopon sma ne doba Yesu Kristo mane ba bewu ba beje yenkwa into eja ejapade kese bi ama yen and no any salvation yen so ejapade ben ena yeja ama yen ne busia e ade ehia pa o ejapade ben na yeja amane ye busia so wo hwe America say as of 2020 no e bra COVID buy no omuhu say average income of abrofo ye $74,912 $74,912 which was abrofo wages. Yeah, before your wages, your immediate, your average income, 45,870. And who said before bebre was the carrier didn't you know who says income household bebre or what do omunyano. Utumu say gap near day esopa between abrofo any before your income no. A yara who send bebre. And therefore France who 2019. Almost share near my for so be brony cassette liquid assets the sika can say idea which me idea ayeka so now we hear immediately how to be which we are going idea tono the omu yen say every before your liquid assets a bear $12,000 about almost close to 13 abrofu is $50,000 what's your home ownership almost said before about 42%, almost 43%, and the what is here. Abrofo 73% and the what homes or no one kasa woni fie. Na equity kura wo fie mo no before the year be 103,000 abrofo the year over 230,000. Businesses are who wo krom ha dodo na ya abrofo dia over 21% of businesses ya abrofo. Yeah, before you be 6% pe. Na me mpesa me kan mo abamubu. But the problem it started all the way from slavery. I just want you to be aware of that. But they go all the way back to slavery. No, maybe before they could not own property. Actually, no one can acquire property. It is all your property. How do you own property? It was just impossible. And we drew time so we own the property in the corner difficult. So when you be still now property for so many days, almost side if we were. So throughout history, no matter quite on which me are suppressed the woman to be called when him not the piano or more edic. That's almost twice a decadia. Say would be cadia, said the piano would die in the paco. There's any paco in a day, a deal so if we saw one away a day, would decide if paco in a day. A BNC acquire senior kosha. Slavery chairman, only be a friend of Freedman Savings Bank. A brofonia before the musica for 2 hours, before no musica be brayed. A she. Yate Tulsa, Greenwood District, 1921. Population over 10,000. A before a be a doctor for, be a lawyer for, a be a real estate agent. It is such peace, Nadia. They have before quantity, and they were doing well because no one here broke no. Unfortunately, who saw more call when you know. When they see a baby, need be a repeat, brony baby. If you acquire some quite say the entire neighborhood are destroying. No. GI Bill, a bra, your friend is saying war a buy years ago. No. Omo canso Vietnam, who free ho buy a bema usika. Na mwakwa kwa the bema musika de atofie ni ade. Omo di sika ne mabo for one farm maybe before the home ownership no became quite a challenge. So we credit the bema usika kwa to dan interest rate is so high, so you cannot even afford it. That was a big challenge for me before also. So to not want to be own property. If we be redlining, need some water sadiana. The only and say, so we be new case be our pet property be a pound, because we be a hanami and percent down with that area. That area now was Tiano. Or as a hazardous area. What do they mean by that? Yes, hazardous, say be a hazard be or one, and never be aware yet. But what they say neighborhood in the end yet. Into woo loan near them on a high risk loan. Into therefore they have to give you a high interest. Said they pay the activity they can recoup their money. And therefore also we pay interest in the same. In a lot of black neighborhoods, no. Some busy highways, they bray so they put these highways and they divide the blacks from the whites. Make us ask them, would they looking back and say, baby, I want to see any baby a highways in the war. Said they have put it there strategically for a purpose to divide you all so that the wealthier is on this side and then the poor are on that side. And usually the poor are the black and brown people. It's calculated effort so that they can keep you down over time. And with all this said, idea said you legacy. That's our problem where you bet me I ama etwecha. The edikai pa and some one man kitwa in kola under the age of 17 here. Meaning some Biden buy no shasi musika every month. Now we mean kasema saso because about saso I shall not for your problem. But more line you swear be under the age of 17. No. Krewaku nebusa who the sasi kana near the malbusumi piano. A dear now this kana ye. What is the kind of to Hosebia may savings on my bay? There's a feeling in our crown here, mammy 300 and now 400 crabbles to me be a feeling in our cafe and I meet me the 2 homa quadano. Sabia 300 a demawa 300 times 12 a thing, a $3,600. That's a good chunk of money to buy stocks with. Can you imagine just $3,600 you invested in Tesla stock? Tesla, Meaning, this is saying the stocks is like around $800 and something. But if you had invested in that, because $800 and something anybody. But the good news about Tesla, say the stocks tend to go up, shoot up. If we were to be to about $1,200, it's already $3,600 to me. Let's say if you would be to stocks, very fast as a 4 or 5 feet back. It's not bad. And that is cost. But we see kind of to once they say when you're home. And now how to Apple stocks cram our banner with Versicana. What say I day if we said the stock market, no, I did what way say the times the stocks will go down. But the good news to say most of the time, no, the stocks will go up. And you just let the money sit. Often brown bunny being bedroom sign fear na ABA where we school ni be or no akopene juma warrior. Akwalano will secure our stock market for. Obey me, I may turn stock CB, the major home fast war, the my day, maybe a ship minimum bushia. In Tierra America about legacy. Sassican on the mamon, a dear Ben, and with the Sicanaye. Have you invested it wisely for Fano? And as a Sicano, would you tier one our bills? And as a Sicaro, the Akogana, so the coffee sit down to BB. Because after all, Banusa, better no one knows the Sicano crowd, the IABB, all fine shame. It let us keep that in our mind. Minianum. A idea here, many people are, yes, yeah, so wait, and your big deal. But a very big of a deal. I didn't make us say a big deal. A big deal in the sense, say, it is money that has been given to us to help our children, to help the future of our children. What are we doing with that money? Let us be very cognizant of that. Dear Tosubiu, we see a back room, and if I don't want to yen taught a fee. I didn't because you be trying him see the year human 10 years out for you. But for somebody be sham white anymore. And no end say, so what say, then I mean, why you may drew baby. What's an apartment to apartment now with you? Can who say, wouldn't yet be being free for apartment? Me what? When yes, it can be a free apartment. The Okoba had to say, was me be asked one way to apartment run or landlord, which Yanica. And yeah, their interest to be a building, and yeah, the opportunity side and file income tax at the end of the year. And the other in Tina, yes, see near year, you man drew baby, I ain't saving the young as a condo cra, metal 2-bedroom condo. Now, at least I know the minimum say I finished one, I file me taxes, make me a BBA day every because we a Miami property. Two started with 2-bedroom condo, and one night children way yes, the car, and there were one option and the American, which we refinance it. Sa condo now with him, at you musica. Now the says you cannot go to house. Now the condo now rent will be. It is our brain will be the 8-year mortgage for condo near the amount, but you have property now. So they may have actually so all retire so we'll call Chroma. Condo no bet me a day jawba. House no so I would team no so ubet me a day aside the jawba. If you now toy and are you doing a 15-year mortgage? We have 15-year mortgage. Sika obetria busmi be an million a dorsum. But 15 years, all when you chroma say, see an eye day, Abba. 15 years, which you'll see in a carry. A true soir retire now, Kogana, 1 ton says, oh, baby, were how would a diner a day, Abba Apadano. I could add it to them by taxes on one way the old chair will see it home. A bus of Kogana and Abba saw some baby, what? Obey to me a farmer, or baby. At the same time, you've left a legacy for your child. In this brain will battle. Washa building wealth at a young age into a bedroom, baby, no, so, but I'm sure bedroom be 50, no, or bet me a retire. I didn't because they're already building wealth at a younger age. Can you imagine, think, what will buy a neck? Now, what a plan basa see, so I shall see a toss stocks and man, or movie be a friend of penny stocks in the idea. What shall I say told to be manning a crank a crave you $5, $10. Even though we say $100, $200, now we're tomano in kakran. Aqualana baby 16 or 17 and at 21 no. Sika aqualana be what was stock market on. You'll be amazed. A bedroom also a college crano. And we here saw Banokwaji student loan, and I'll talk about student loans. And we here saw if we saw aqualana was sika our no bedding or school between ayeding a use. This is what we call legacy. Are we willing to sacrifice? Most of the time, no, It's not saying baby free no. And what air dealing to you drew chrome ha. If I said be a ya when you chrome no. You be pebi wa ha say near yedin. Yedi ya ho no be a we also yes. A branty de wa kwabru chirampa. Ababa we de wa kwabru chirampa. But that's not the point, Minianom. All of these things and yet necessary. The why down for Bronibi. Now we couldn't, but down for Pan, we're really good friends because yeah, my friend the Bamano, the Basu Diwa. There's an interesting thing in this say. Brenda, and near me I want a closet to end also. Call Brenda closet one. In Tadia Bear 10 the same. Over to me, I'm up on it, Tadia more than 10. Brenda and Pabwa bear 5. Now when him do or black kakra or navy blue kakra. And we wore the blazers, yeah, and they do off-white and they like different color blazers. And she just mix and matches her blazers with her dresses. It's with and hope for because she has a different blazer on, but it's the same dress that she's wearing. And then Pabwan, making sure some Pabwan betone it can match everything she wears into a Pabwan black or Pabwan nude. So because you can mix and match those all the time. And also, Vera, if I really need it, then I can go and purchase it. And I share the party. Said, "Me if you me because it's me am share me. I said, "You man Dawson, for one Dawson, Daddy on a Dawson, bag in a Dawson." And I was like, "Where am I taking all these things, especially COVID by?" But who does any money in our emphasis will be anything because COVID by means to me is just any money view. They may share because we are remote work. We are remote work. I was just made it. May share short to us here. Miss Ronkwan, Miss CC, because we'll be a who dear Shema. It is any money in our bosom and a semi closet to me. When you go on from a bonnie in Chennai, in fact, will be on your day. I'm a swabby. Can you imagine how much money I could have saved if I didn't purchase those things? And no any legacy I make a wasn't. Yen decrease and near mana year tunnel. If we say after all, in Pabwa saying I'll be to me a share per day. At idea saying I'll be to me a share per day. It's impossible. Even Crocus or Bishop class at Munia Menina, that's when near my doors with the said name near my doors. 365 days a year, no. I mean to me, Chef Fanta didn't in a and then fast will be on your day, so. A being swan can be just any meaning in Amma, and can be used to say, it can be crab wa as a and now will be a while which they want. At least I'm leaving a legacy. And when I make about legacy, a idea, a here party, a yes, I know, oh my yes, send the agro to be a radar. Let me get to student loans. When you say Jew for what Chrome has said, though, at the Omoya, any Jay partner say, Jew for young for Omoya and Kabum. It sounds so we in Kabum, we near my BBA a day, a boom. And no into no on Shaman a bank for student loan. I danger. Besides, Franny Sunny, I shall see a planet, I'm a Sabo Franny. Yasasi the Sike, day, air to a marble frano. You encourage Abo Franny's own share the 1 yard you will school. Said the Bay out Obeko College, to which mean your scholarship, no idea what they are for college. Scholarships not to do on why. And was so true BB, maybe a so true SDB, and was so ye BB and San yet to me the amount. Into your more Franny son. Yen shall see no one deem come off scholarships the whole. Yen shall see no one teacher for the school and shall see Musa was our questions. Or more guidance counselors for most school. Or more way to manu. Ya highly pacoy tianico millianum. Naketiano no. It is a tiani paconica. I didn't see the year many paconicita. Now who you see the pacoro upon a Juma ya high so one day. Someone who puts up questions. Chroma well with some questions. Will be any more about answers. But with some questions today, you get the right answers. Into a body saddle. Now I know I saw about what kindergarten. Or kindergarten is okay. Shall see a question say, my sister Chroma is a scholarship near Dewa. Me bano drew in fear saying and obey to me and yebi. And near about pain, I may banny bit me a bit me a man I a good candidate for our scholarships here in the future. Why do the bells and our kindergarten dear adding? But so we should be a same temwa, and I'll bet me a be a free. Have those conversations. Yeah, parent teacher meeting that call. No, what's ye the adding air course New York or cry the with him be brave. When him the answer, what was schools, magnet schools be brave. If you are high school for the science and one fine high school for the way, you were private schools be brave with New York City. Or people some send a quite best to make me afford the private school. You know, the amazing thing said. So ye be near Abrofo no want to give things away to you because they would like to put it down as they're doing something good. Into what do you care if they're doing something good? If it benefits your child, let them feel good about themselves. So remember, obani free, sika free, amanako. Private school, work when you be a free move, actually propel them any of the scholarships they need in the future. No, on-college student loan. You know, make up some about legacy. Obani be real school, no one will be aka. And the good news, oh, real school now new will be aka. It is so amazing. Maybe with student loans and I'm paying for them. But can you imagine graduating from school debt free? That means we see how we do the bank. So which our bills and getting so if you're getting all of that money and all of that money is sitting in the bank, it's big loads of money. And that's where you can invest. That's where you can diversify. That's where you can use your money wisely, like buying real estate, buying property. And no, when you say auto car or drive a car off the lot, they say kind of depreciate you. But if you the water, it keeps on going up. Of course, there are times the market can crash, and therefore we fear the value can go down. But that's okay. That does not mean that you should sell the house. That means that you should actually hold on to the house, because as time goes on, it will still appreciate over time. That's what I'm talking about. That is legacy. Oh, they better very expensive car. But because we was in a down to be drivers, our car, oh, you know, my ear to Makakra, my Missumia de Yonkotobi. Abra car, it doesn't appreciate in value. Cars I appreciate it in value, I can tell you right now, is a Tesla. A Tesla is the only car it makes me appreciate it in value. Now, why do I tell you that? Because there's no engine in the car. Okay? Any engine, oil, a battery powered car. 80 mileage, it doesn't make a difference. Oh, engine car, now mileage, it makes a difference. But even Tesla, the mileage doesn't make a difference because it's a battery powered car. And yet, how because almost some plugs the money. And now when your oil change, those things don't exist because everything is done through software updates. Into all update software, I saw cell phone and a software update. That's what they do on a Tesla. So if you want a car that's going to appreciate in value over time, then maybe you want to invest in a Tesla. It's expensive, but it makes sense long term. I'm not saying you should go buy it. I'm just telling you, if you want to buy a car, then that's where you should go. Because the car depreciates in value over time. And as I say, gas of why you did. It is always who say you want to leave legacy for your child. I then there's also gas guzzler. Gas, there's also so much to fill the tank. Now at the same time, we'll see Samsung day and maybe I won't talk Toyota before now. I'll bet me afforded the Toyota, I'll bet me afforded gas or what Toyota. Now this is another day, and leave a legacy for your children. And not only a legacy for your children, we can also leave something for the church. When the time comes, that's why you will. You might want to put the church on there too. Say, I want to give 2% of whatever wealth I have. I want to give 2% or 5% or whatever amount you designate. I want to give it to the church so they can use it for this purposes. That is what I'm calling legacy. Mr. Kroma says the good news is Beko school be that building be a whole be a day edaso. Nipa krono, they have left a legacy. The oye ne so no ko school or where idea nyami be a kwine and ma to me a year near mano. Or ye na say I will give back to the school. Schools be o cry ye chrome Ghana, nipa be bre or ha or boko secondary school or Ghana. What by America say be things have gone well for you. Can you get together with Incrop for a year day? When you are school or Ghana and set up a scholarship foundation for school or Ghana, maybe they can get money to get an education. That is legacy. That is legacy. There's so many things that are legacy. I didn't say me call boy before. I remember you can say now walk up a boy before we bush for swear and then have a woman. But we bush for no better but at the same time, ebinom nso wɔ hɔ mo a hokyerɛ mu kyɛn wɔ busuafoɔ school asɛm a meka say bi a mo be putting money together to have that scholarship fund na akwalaa bi a ne ho kyerɛ no no ɔno nso dip into it na ɔno nso atumi anya education na daakye ɔno nso wie a obetumi look back no wayɛ den akɔ akɔboa obi nso wɔ saa ɛhɔ nom. That is what I mean by legacy. Are we leaving a legacy for our children, or are we rather taking the little that someone gives to our children and then use it? Remember another example. We say, "Yeah, Ghana for the we a bar. Yeah, be a friend Adoring. Adoring Crawford bomb member. I could give you away 2025. But a car bomb maybe a yesica be brain. And so no parent, no which is as it can idea now the year it will be account. Edema will ban. So this can be true. Now that should be na palano etwe use as sikano. And I would see and what the idea one ka sa pay. Meaning that is a legacy. And never be brave or honor MYA. Let us cut down the things we are buying and leave a legacy for our children. Let me talk about credit cards. So what was credit card? Now who use it? Now a credit card now. That means you cannot afford what you're buying. And I'm going to say it again. If you have a credit card and you're using the credit card, and at the end of the month you can't pay off the credit card, then you can't afford the item you're buying. Rebecca, so what are you talking about? Am I talking about exactly what I'm telling you right now? So we'll call store. Now go what I did not say, now so what I did we pay not $40. Let's say what talk. Let's say only so many swap $40 no be to me fine. That's okay, you can afford it. But suppose so that's what the minimum payment, but the minimum payment is $20. Now, your minimum payment to get the interest. Why do you want to be paying interest? But if interest, then come to me the actual bank. Why do you want to pay that credit card that interest? It doesn't make any sense. So if you cannot afford, and I'm going to say it again because I'm crazy, if you cannot afford to pay off your credit card at the end of the month, don't use it. Don't use the credit card until you know you can afford to pay it off every month. If you don't overcharge on your credit card, or go on a credit card, like we'll go over limits. We'll go over limits. No, to your minimum payment. No, to your minimum payment. Depiana stress also. Depiana say anybody also. Depiana why yeah. Because bills say a day and also a broso. That means you're not leaving a legacy for your children because you're trying to pay off these debts. I therefore France I make I made my new see said the baby I don't go forward questions because my person met not so too long. And the essay, yeah, ko Ghana million mama use credit card and top plane ticket. If I so be any so. If you cannot afford to pay for that plane ticket, there's no need to get up and go to Ghana. And someone's going to say, what do you mean? I mean exactly what I'm saying. If you cannot afford to go to Ghana without using cash or paying off that credit card that we use, then there's no need to pick up and go to Ghana. Because most of the time, nobody's forcing us to go to Ghana. But we insist on going. For what purpose? So you can get in debt? Because we go to Ghana. And Crawford people will always come back from my home. Opa no asabe age bet ya wo hoka. Then you call this kind of command also Chile or Ghana. What is the purpose? So when you saw Beko Ghana, Shafia Pop was Sicano. So when you say plane ticket, they $1,500, $1,100, $1,200. Usumi be a Shafia Fizicato Honka Cranka. Copim se Ubenya Sicana Wuhiano. Then you win yes, Sicana this Canato bank. Now do debit card a day, after ticket no. And now say, what pay your credit card? Nibia, what? Obey with the Sikaya day, Akoto, where you use our card a day, and they are top tickets. And here, Parmilianum, she says, yes, sir, we will not leave a legacy for our children. We will live to please others. Whereas our Crawford, they don't even care about you. They don't care about you. Your young people are more. As some of the when they say, with their social media, no more so. Inti ene ubehunu no be na social media so osio wasiesie no kama my yewe menya we no be the car beto ma to car we my yesi million young people, all of that is a facade. A lot of those things, no, why are we even competing with each other instead of loving each other and just making sure that everyone is taken care of? And pushing for and one more oh, as soon as you say, Miss Rupert, me, meanwhile, now also we need resources, we need the financial, we need our finances to do that. I didn't want to of him, now what to me is why that is what I'm talking about. Legacy. Legacy meaning let that money sit in the bank. Let that money be on the stock market. Now, at the end of the day, when you look at your stocks, when you look at what you have, you can say, I am going to dip into this funding and help the next person. Because ABN will be here, but you have the means to help that person. Let's leave a legacy. Yes, I will to be sure you'll be brave. For question.
Yo, Doctor, there was a papa, Yamisha, when summer, Radinam so at the Amaya side, she. I don't know, as some know, and Tebin so be was in Busa and some webia legacy Wasamo, no famra, nothing no, at the same envy mode, Madame was.
Yo, Penny Kingsley, me patcho, I didn't hear many.
Yeah, Pachokasa.
Now, Mr. Wo, she meant to Mammy, Doctor, and Mammy say. A Juma ye in the cream. Sika ye, and one the yin de Pierre. Ye have been come. And now, yes, so ye free Ghana, intino, said on what can you know, a ye say. Ye bay, a day ye besako Ghana. Na o kanina no ade ba ko a ye na wan man tio se bia o kan ho bibia se ye ya si ye kusi dan wo Ghana ne yakọ na yakosi bi ye sika kro ya se bi o ka a che ye nyansa kwa ya ye fa so a ye fa mobra e wo kom sa sika na bi ye de ko ekusi dan ye niema se ka se japade ko ye adwuma bi ni ade sika kro ye bi o enti de okay nyina no se ya chemu mienu ebi eye se ye de ko no Ghana ebi so ye no ha na nyem bia do kika nyina no anfa Ghana de bia mam enti no adwenkyere na afutu bi wo ho se ye no Ghana no enwire ho no ke ye se ye no ha anase ye ne Ghana no ni nyina ya de ko enam se sika kro ya na ye di bi ko Ghana ye di bi so ye bi wa he obetime aboa me kakra e wo adwenkyere mu
But that's the brain is our question now. What boostan? A very good question. Na, meaning said, Nipa do one I walk chrome and any said that you over a child as over chrome Ghana. Then car said, and yes, or the quack ye be wool chrome. A yes, or which me a quack ye be wool chrome. But the encamestre and it say, so when you have drew chrome and wash, I see a year, Juma. That's which me and Yesika could see down in Ghana, dear. That means the area says you can when you have $10,000 and when you're the first starting. Which maybe a down payment, it will fear it will chrome say. Now the down payment will fear will chrome say. Now we have 15-year mortgage and now the upper 30-year mortgage they are making. Now it's next year, now we are consistently probably for 5 or 6 years. Open build the equity, it will fear no. So time no so which be a refinance if you know. I take it cash out. Which will be enough money. I'll be media ko Ghana. I go start if you cry a bosso and son why a day was samba. It is say no, who wear Japadia will chrome her, who wear Japadia and see a day, ewa Ghana. Will be a passadi and say I because most of the time, no, dia you see what Ghana no. You see in kakran. And you see a bia will chrome her piano. If I see a deposit die wa Ghana, then can't say you're wrong. Nanso so no tia se ema wo kumo hu bebree but so we Japadia will chroma say that I wouldn't say ade no eba appreciate in value it will refinance ya wobetumi anya bibi e de akwa akoye sa adwuma na wo ye den e wo Ghana no biti se no mom ye mfaso enso ba and at the same time no for property na wo kroma no afi no so interest no do do na wo file taxes a wobenya sika ni bi kra ye den back so on enti e na wo ye ye niema bi wo fie no ho so a ebi wo to be ye bibi back enti bi nua no momien also enwene ho se ye ti kroma se ya momien ye bibi nso wo kroma obi wo ho a oti America ha say be we see dan kese wo Ghana enso kroma oti no oti apartment mu a on twi twa na ho be biara apartment no oti nso e bia ntefe nkura ne ade o mu di agoro den eye den e wo honom na nso e dan a wasi wo Ghana nye dan ketwa na one ne ma eti kroma nkwala no o mu ju o mu be bia enye bia 2-bedroom apartment so ne ma ne more than 2 so na nkwala no kra wo ha wo mo adwene adenti na wonto bi wa ha say 2-bedroom condo crack wo dey talk 3-bedroom condo crack to won't be in torre a dan kesi si ho a ana townhouse bi crack to na wa no be hunu sika e bebo mu adachu betumi refinance we use say sika no e dey akoye bibi wo Ghana. I hope so Penny my answer your question.
Yes, that was a power man doctor. My name so be person the baby can ho and now busy was some fufu be person be sa mpacho e kwanda ho.
Mpacho remember say maybe so say my name say we start now work on one sem no most platforms no you have to be 18 to open one thing you say akra no be amana ubie in your name and because me man me you be more but this when you 18 mama uska now they are starting no open your own but me say most platforms no into a platform be omu with me for akwala in their name and that's how you know for who you know who dim na akra no what transfer amana.
Into you can buy stocks in your child's name, but this is how you do it. You will be on and your child will be added on. On baby suffer by the Social Security. Into maybe yes through Wells Fargo. Okay, maybe tell me what account through Wells Fargo and what I may tell me stocks thing. So that's the platform I use. Into who call Wells Fargo, when you're Social Security and crowd for Wells Fargo or whatever bank you have, they all have those platforms. So I can't show them and say, you want to purchase for your child. A collected date of birth, the D, and then a Social Security number. You will be on and your child will be on. And when the child turns 18, you can release it to the child. But you can put your child's name on.
Yeah, that was it. Mammy Vivian, me just said what I say. That was it. Very good. Yo, I don't know. Crown wo ho na so obere so bi pese o kan bibia sema asema o kan no ensemi se bebre mo me afemra demase.
Yeah, I'm painful.
Yeah.
I'm the mama new presentation, especially relating to Google from an or train arguing whether there has to be some building blocks in their life. Now, one of the area kind of started with education. Now, okay, maybe about, in fact, the idea was to get the best opportunities through education for women. Now, New York City, or program there was a member from, in fact, from kindergarten. Okay, now there are selected schools are one of them special programs for high performing kids. Now they start one from around kindergarten. We some exams. In fact, there are preparations towards it. Now, when you are certain a grade which qualifies them for the program now, we place on those special schools. Now, even there are certain schools, CCR, ECOWA, there are 2 streams.
Jagan pacho kasa na papa antina. So
if I show so Maya, the person can be those who about New York City.
yeah.
Your school be what more school be in New York, your friend a Harlem Children's Zone. Harlem Children's Zone. Meaning some watching it in that. They say the current CEO, no, your friend of Kwame Kessie or your Ghanaian. I would like every parent, I will back probably under the age of 17, to explore Harlem Children's Zone. It's a great place, I will baby to Miyako School if the child is under the age of 17. Into a your holiday. But Tuesday, find their phone number, call. Bisawomo, say be our person ka baba school ho. Pe obi ne kasa. Nesha kwaya obefa so a, ubenyo obi na kasa, ebi obetumi a church e kwaya obefa so a wo ba ne yeden. Ebetumi akọ school ho no. Harlem Children's Zone. Ewo Harlem.
Yeah, that was mama.
Na me pacho se oba no ntumi nko school e ho nso e kwan befo from be biem na e wo. Ebi too far ntumi nko school ha.
Yo, too far kra no ntumi nko school. Why nti na make say wo dey friend wo mo. Me ye sure say bia omo nim be people from oba ne betumi akọ school e be bo abofra no. It all takes a phone call. Ask the necessary questions. Na hwa akwan chira on be den obo betumi di amount. Sa bre ye krom ni and they had this baby making. So you might as well take the opportunity to find out. Why?
And I was doctor. Yeah. Opening Ghana, me who say wa basu, me name so person trust wa emo.
Go jump in for me, I'm sorry, kakra. Problem kakra with my network na omumishido. Na America about New York City educational program from a kindergarten. One will take them exams. We place one in those programs. Initially, are very limited, but the blast you burn or expanding to the year. Almost every community there are some schools for that program. Even some of the old established schools in Ukra, now they have them in two streams. One called the normal educational stream, and Moframba will place one for special programs. And now these special programs, they sitting, they spend more than 5 times the education of the students in Wohondo until they will be in the same school on the same grade as it, but were different classroom in a completely different program resources, and it helps them from the. And once your kid gets into it now, it can take that your kid throughout up to a high school, and when they get out now, they turn out to be better. They have better opportunities in Azib. Now, in fact, if you contact a education department now, they have a booklet now that or there a register for the program and at kindergarten will be schedule one for certain exams. Obama resources are as a prepare a woman from but able to many for teachers now that won't handle one. Now I bet you are a very good opportunity for especially in here 24 American to take advantage of them. In fact, if you are India full Jew full especially would take advantage of those programs into one number they get a better start in education.
And also Penny brings up a very good point. Also, your education department, we only do this like once a year. You see education day. They invite you, like that's it. But the role of the education department, is to help the parents, the people in the church, access education. That's what I think the role of the education department is. Enti mo aye yi mu se mo lead this department to. Mo na se mo hwehwe programs a what the state you live in, the city you live in, and make these resources available to the parents. Parents be wo hono ma se bi e bia on tebrofo a obetumi afa phone na wa frɛ na onu obi akasa ama asema ni pakɔ ne kakra wa ye den wate ase. But the people in the education department, have that ability to do that. And you find what the resources are, and then bring the resources into the church so that the parents can access these resources. I don't think so you're elected into that office to just have like once or twice a year education day and then bring someone to speak and then that day do all of these educational activities. And then the rest of the 365 days, that there's nothing, or the rest of the week, there is nothing. It has to be a continuous thing that you're doing the entire year. Help the parents, because some parents are not equipped to do that. And when you're equipped, why don't you help that parent? And we have to make sacrifices to help each other in the church. We tend not to do that. So, but we have to make the sacrifice. If you have the knowledge, if you know something, share it with the next person. Because we share with them, so when your education, when they start making these 6, 7 figures, 8 figures up, they will come back and return their tithe and offering to the church, and the church will continuously grow. But if we don't give them the resources, no of course school no be from any resources on site or so you lose money in that case. So I'm speaking to the people in the education department. Start doing something innovative. Start doing things outside of the box. Look out and don't look within. Look out, bring the resources back into the church.
Yeah, that was a doctor. Some are no ordinary. Yanso, was a soldier, artist, as no. Yanso at the same time, they bet me a contact at the education department. Now you be so more questions, and I say, your mama said, this is what is going on. And into no again, I'm also more year. Now yanso, yes, BB account, it be a no bet me a bois, Massa Nemina, because even education department monk can ya into me out here, but where ban yanso, yaso ya BB at 2 motive no. And so be push you more, not from Sunday or Mobianso, so Ediaba, Dr. Edward Sepa, Mamele, Memusa was from Paucho, Betmakasa.
Yeah, Adam Pacho me dasi doctor said that was in one church out the Amboy. Pacho me person visa said, Sa Quanya to say no, so be wa Canada. A visa or hosa. Because no.
May assure for Canada more opportunities to be real. Actually, the Canadians have a lot. Because one thing I know is that meaning Ghana will be bro, free Ghana directly about Canada. I be a PhD with Canada. Our mundi will be aka. Your mom school, or mama your mom sika, and school for free. It is always me a yama will be our own free chrome. I'm sure that Canada has a lot of benefits. The first thing I know about Canada is that we work with that your mousika every month. Meaning to say see on wage, but in the past I know they did that. When it comes to when it comes to education, as well, resources to be brave. If you once again no ebebwa, say education department million. I will find be brave or no more. Or ba krom ha no omanyin. Meboa. Enti niam be brave or no onim because on course school krom ada. So and no nti be here say ye wa asafo no no. Aye nim niam be no. Ye be get it together. They are provided our resources, about for it. May also be Canada. No line is no name bisa or no emphasize information in command as for back. And can name the beyond million every Sabbath. And can answer the divine service. The education department should come and stand there. A representative should come and stand there and say, oh, Yeah, was our information. What question be but what the other contacting now contacting yes, you bet me the way I day. Every Sabbath, someone from that education department should stand on that pulpit and give resources to the church members. It's not only women down on Kwana, electo. Sometimes so elect and say, asafwe juma, women down on Kwana, one day out of the week. Throughout the week, you have to start thinking, what can I do in Mimi department to help it grow, to do things outside of the box, to help the church members? We have to be thinking outside of the box every day. And knowing today, you're getting involved in the communities we are. Also, you move back to school, parent teacher conference will be walking around. So if you saw no, some of what can one tears into all had a home court one for tears and will be crowned into one court. Then so be no be was for no one or no the Otifani manasi. And if I go to me our company now in a court, no what stretch and near maybe any sleep, say no more mammy, say no mocha, I said no, say no mocha, no what here, no those way they to be the Juba. Other community activity which we are getting in, minimum about Canada, minimum about US. Maybe a member of the National Association for Colored People, NWCP, the chair of the Criminal Justice Committee. So that makes me an executive committee member of the nationwide NWCP. So I know what is going on. Yeah, policies are hodwa. I am part. I am reading these policies. I am telling them that this is not good. The criminal justice system is flawed. Let's make sure we do this and we do this and we do that. So therefore, I take the information back to my church so they can be aware of the new policies that are coming in. We don't get involved. There are so many boards in our county you can sit on. School body. Some of us can sit on the school board. Some of us can be members of the school board. And let us start looking outside and bringing the resources in. Yes, balance. Me sure so be what Canada were lines. Me paucho. What lines or what Canada? Boamia Bay. Never knew who near me. I have born also.
Amen. Yo, mame, the always Zoom user no ono and eduno. So we are Edmond. Now what was so you been almost done, Ramoyan tentem kakana
me penyin patro me dance. Na ba sem ne say de na madam can say mpanyinfo a ebia yi won wo sa education wo ye churches no omomwa ye ma no na ne ka me so me sa atwa me say the pass say general conference as a whole no e dey say that wo education department omu wo for sa ne ma no ntinka omu no emwa ye bebre say obetima sort to those resources na ka ma communicate to yen sa local church education people na dey ama omu so dey mass afun gi say sa na obetima boy bebre. And the Sana Commission says, department, I should create one of my own department, no head, what say what education unit, and say, or no, Sanya man. You so man can start almost half for no open in windows, no be nim Sana man be and come way be room for information and from master local churches, no. Did they say you more education? This a cabasa so and a bad boy, it's been for them why, sir, Madam.
Yeah, there was it.
But the only caution I remember when they say, or no general conference or no, on to me who dear cost state be. I keep in mind that we have over 50 states, right? Within our 50 states, there were jurisdictions be brave, there were cities be brave, there were municipalities be brave, and also. But wow, what's it a honor media? You may have immediate access and a better understanding will be on OT General Conference and what Silver Spring. And the MS moment they say, what we local no, what is our chrome no. The reason why you were elected is they felt that you can do it, right? Until you will say yes, so have that mindset that I have been selected. I have been elected to lead this particular department for a year or two. I am going to be intentional and then find out what the resources are and bring them. Me no way elected me send me criminal justice committee chair for no apparent reason. I'm working every day. I'm reviewing someone's transcript, the criminal transcript, If I can actually then I got 2 for 30 years, I could add 15. Yes, who a shoe 2 will be. Oh, because and you see your shoe 2 will be the SDA in the 2. But you don't know what happened. So I'm reading these transcripts and we are working with the attorneys to see if they can reduce the sentence. So but I have put myself out there. But me, full time. I work full time. And I'm involved in so many other things. But I'm making time because if we can make a change, so let us be willing to make the sacrifice to help each other.
But your last one, Edmond, we are MCD to Medina a baby.
Yo, me question. That's that's very informative. Now, my mommy be na the question ye. Or just information about in our wouldn't be resources in our wouldn't be. On the NYU programs, money back Akobi. But at good time, be also on making decision, money banner, and as a one banner money make it the best decision. The banner so in hand more. And see, but who quite you name out of my meaning I mean, who numbers in my church, me banner to my seer as a parent, the dinner mammy on ye.
Yo, that's a very good question. But once again, me decision mammy no or person a banner a make right? And I'm going to caution all of you. And I'm going to say this very gently. Most of the time, we as parents want our children to get into careers. And I'll give you a good example. Every Ghanaian, with the exception of maybe me, wants their child to be a physician. Not every child can be a physician because medical school ending. A lot of Ghanaian parents may want their children to be nurses, but not every child can be a nurse because that course may be tough. But the child may be good in finance. If you're an MBA, or if you're an accountant, why any CPA license? If you're can do art and make so much money. Maybe to Maryland, maybe very close to Washington, D.C. You're a museum or art work, if you have a problem, something really. This idea way, I didn't know about cry. Oh, we also this is $1 million. This is $100,000. I didn't ask what we did paint. I'll say no. So our children may be good at something else either than what we want them to get into. And see a kobasa na acquire in town. So we feel so bano on tier wasen. But Miniano, Mummy and Yao, then you know Munim Kobo. Mummy and money are you good at? If you're good at something and you get an education and you're able to do well inside the money will follow. The money, and we've seen so many examples of people in this country who did that and the money followed. It's very careful. Let me tell you the story. Papa be only reading now a physician. Almost penny firstborn. We are still as all medical school. As all medical school. Now, for I never find my mate no say or no, but now no say maybe medical school and medical school. Papa the booth food the body didn't I didn't know because I saw medical school. Dear Macana and Becca over medical school. I said, Daddy, in medical school. A very good university, Ivy League school, or or graduate or economics. Juma. I say, Juma, you work too hard for your money. I don't want to work hard for my money. Oh, school, no. He's working for these big finance companies. The money this young man is making with just a bachelor's degree, right after college, he started making 6 figures. Right after college, but he didn't go to med school. Because when he told to be a medicine, to me, the moment the MS say, where he's going with this. And where are you going with this? Decision Ben, I will make it based on side dealing. I'm not touching about it, me make a decision about. But looking at everything you have right now, no, What decision are you making based on the resources you have? And that will be a different conversation. Into careers or be miserable. But rather no, find you see what they are good at and push them into that direction. And no more be brave. I hope some answer our question.
Yeah, there was a doctor, there was a power. My man, unit, Susie, if you say our question, you answer. Very good. So, okay. Will be a question on Patrick Bisa. Yeah, so be a question and answer contribution with the Abba.
Okay, so be any questions I bring to my main summarizing to just quickly. Legacy. And let us leave a legacy for your back. When we invest in the stock market for your back, because after all, General Conference, they do invest our time. If you don't know, they do invest the time. It's invested in the stock market. Or more retirement, for the retirement, it's all invested in the stock market. It will be making sure that we are buying stocks for our children. So the education department, someone will make sure that the resources that are there, you bring it back into the church for the people in the church to obtain those resources. No to me use and no a legacy. So we your parents now buy under the age of 17. Now buy my usika bia men misikano fasikano to or bano. Time our banny bedroom sa college going age, maybe a sikani a day economy. Mesramo so be talk be sit down wa Ghana to be wa ne refinance ne jisikani free ne fa kwaye de wo ye wa Ghana free say at least wo property wa na or property wa Ghana you have wealth. That is wealth. The bronikas will be a wealthier. Do you know what it means? It's not only the cash the person has in the bank, but all of the assets the person has. Me really see about 401k. Okay, you me see a 401k. Me pau chow. Yes. But why do you know so? I don't say I didn't I didn't mean you seeking Ghana me found coffee. Sikano a you can survive. My engineer found one that will retire when you be a day, Eddie, maybe. More be a book taxi near the end, Mr. Ramo. And Mo Sikano. I will report it from taxi driving and yak it where Mania be a bay more. I didn't make a Sika would see, reporting, said you pay a better social security, any Medicare not one that will retire when you cobro. That is legacy. Let us leave a legacy for our children, Minianum. Mumia Momo didn't see a DB, better to our more dachi. Now that you go when the ambre, uncle for how near Maniam Romo. But I must be brave. Yamen Cabo.
Yo, doctor, yeah, there was, I mean, sure, some one man who can never did their force. So I'm my abusive for Medizi, no, and some say, ye, and a medical can Yonkodoradio was so, and it know, so person outside Tibuma, but Sako YouTube, Yonkodoradio, not from work with you. That must be papa. Yami Adman, I'll say, Yamia, and Maya in a session. Mama, you see, Chassis. Nothing, my mele, Bompire, nothing shade me this Maya. And me say, Doctor, for the number, I told Amayina.
Okay. Tomacho, your bompire. The young pony a bank is and you marry Umaya, that was it. Papa, that was baby. So, why ain't I doing yet? Me a bisham sabaco for my yada once. Yada was CBM to say, one doctor, so I'm an actually. It's also the Eto Musini Biano, yet there was a so man Kennedy at the Achray. Why ain't me too, and I'm more papa. Ain't me any legacy. And to I my manner dachi. Almost when your son for so. Yet I was sick. So what's here in our boy and sir. It was used to deem it. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Doctor, yeah, there was a papa, Yamin Shaw on summer. I didn't know so damn my be a bad gas, Yamin Shaw, the moon ass. Yo, and a mobile mespa. Say ye tintitimay. You who are in feminine. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.